Good afternoon. My name is Chris Adam with Youth Pledge for Employers. I'm delighted to be joined by Hannah, a coordinator from Newmarket Daycare Centre. Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for giving up your time to speak to me this afternoon. And I guess my first question has to be, can you tell me a little bit about Newmarket Daycare Centre and what you do?
Right, so the Newmarket Day Centre is a charity incorporated organisation which supports the local community in Newmarket. We act as a community hub, basically. We support in-house and out-house with a team of volunteers and a small team of staff supported by a team of trustees.
That's amazing. So what kind of ways do you support people and what kind of people do you support?
Right, so services that we currently supply are in-house daycare, so respite for people for either a day, for a whole week. Personalised care is given in that part of the care packages. We also have a volunteer-run cafe at the centre, which provides all sorts of on their menus, and that gives us a big income that then is used to spend towards supplying hot plates to the local community. So we deliver between 40 and 85 meals out to the local area, as far as all the villages, with a team of volunteers daily.
Oh wow! And how big a team of volunteers do you have?
So we've got about 25 drivers and 40, I'd say, in-house, never at any one particular time, because we wouldn't have any room for anyone else in the building if that was the case. But on a whole, yeah, about 65, maybe a bit more.
And if we look at your job then, as I say, sort of, playing a big part in coordinating all of these different operations that you were just describing there, what kind of sort of skills do you think you have or you need to sort of do all the coordinating of different people that you do?
Right, so I'd say, well, public relations is something you've got to be confident in, because you're dealing with a lot of different people, a lot of different needs, and you've got to be able to be empathetic, and you've got to be resourceful. So my current role is also situated on a reception desk, so you've got to be able to manage your time appropriately and be able to know the strengths of the team you're working in. Having being computer literate definitely helps in my job, because I've got 3 screens that I work from at any one time. We also have amongst the building other areas like invoicing and things like that. So any knowledge of Sage or, well, we use Sage for the majority of our work. So that does come in handy. From another point of view, because as a centre, each of us are all individually trained care-wise, having any care background or care experience is also a big bonus for this sort of job.
And I'm guessing at a root belief, you all must be so passionate and care a lot about what you're doing. I'm guessing that is a big driver behind all of you working in organisation.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of us here either have some sort of personal connection to this place, whether that be it supported a friend, a family member in the past, or we've volunteered here ourselves at times and then become staff from it. I worked here for a fair few years, had to leave for personal reasons to do with my family, and to get the opportunity to come back, I've been back again, just kind of says how much you're connected to the place. It's something that sticks with you, this place, and I think you become part of the building itself, but you've got to have heart, and the people here you become personally connected to, which is just fantastic. You go home every day feeling absolutely wonderful. So
that must be, as you say, that must be such an amazing, feeling to know that you're good, you're doing in the community, and as you say, to have that lovely feeling when you go home. And I guess when you're having those challenging days in the roles, whether something's gone wrong, or as I say, it's just a tough day. I guess, as you say, having people who are so supportive, you're all on the same page, you all want to help each other. That must be such a brilliant sort of foundation to fall back on.
Yeah, it definitely, even in the hardest scenarios, like we've had quite a few. Obviously, this place was stayed open during COVID. It led a lot of groups to become part of the centre as well, in support of us, and a lot of community charities also work alongside us now. And that was a really disheartening time. Like, there were so many people isolated and so many people without family, without friends, that it seems like a dream now, but to reintegrate people back out into society as well is incredibly rewarding.
And to pose a situation to you, imagine you had a young person who maybe wanted to come in and sort of work in this kind of role, in this kind of organisation. You've mentioned a little bit about some of the skills that you guys already in the organisation have. So what kind of soft skills or personality traits does someone who wants to come in and work for you need?
I would say you've got to be approachable and have a sense of humour, pretty much, to be able to adapt as well. So obviously you do come across all kinds of people when you work within the community. They might be having the worst day of their life that day, and you've got to be able to contain sort of your own experiences and assist and be problem focused with them, which is sometimes very difficult. It can be emotional. So just to be empathetic and relatable, really.
And I guess you talk there, as you say, people could be having good days or bad days. You might be offering different kinds of support, as you say, through the centre as well. I'm guessing the variety, the fact that no day is the same in this job, must be such a big incentive for you as well.
Yeah, there's one part of my job that I do, which is data input, which is very, very samey. But every other part of the role, it just depends on the day. You could come in and think you're doing one thing one day, have this plan in your head that that's what's happening, but then something with a greater need comes in, and so to be able to prioritize as a team definitely helps. And you deal with it. Sometimes it's something as simple as someone just needed a friend for half an hour, and this was where they turned up, and then you can connect them to the right places and things like that, which it's a great role to be in, really.
It does sound so rewarding. And you mentioned how a lot of you within the team either maybe have family connections or some kind of connection to the organisation itself. If we look at you, like sort of yourselves and your pool of volunteers, I'm assuming though there must be a wide variety of backgrounds from there, not just as you say, their experience, but all sorts.
Yeah, we've got ex-jockeys, we've got ex-healthcare, we've got people that are straight out of school wanting to gain experience in the care side of the community. We've got a whole range of ages and a whole range of abilities here, and we try and find everyone a role that welcomes them as a person. So if someone wanted to come in and get cookery experience, they are paired off with the kitchen. People come in with customer service experience, generally go to the cafe, care experience to the floor, etc. So it's really, we've got a whole mix, which is great.
Oh wow! Is there anyone like I know you don't have to mention names or anything, but is there maybe someone within the organisation who, as you say, maybe has come in and said, "Oh, I'd love to do that kind of thing," and then they've sort of been sort of trained and they got that opportunity and progressed onto other things?
Yeah, we've had a lot of from a work experience point of view, we had a lot of youngsters. Well, I say youngsters, that makes me feel so old saying it. We had a lot of school leavers come in for work experience, and 3 or 4 of them have maybe not thought that they would go into care or public service or community service, but they chose to come in because maybe their granddad visited or something like that, and they knew we were a place that they could could gain experience. Some have gone on to be in the army, some have gone on to be carers themselves, some have been encouraged into nursing, which wasn't something they originally wanted to do. We've had apprenticeships in the kitchen, and then people leave to work for local hotels and different establishments, and it's great, really. There's so much to learn in a place like